हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम बैक टू आवर चैनल मास्टर मेंस। तो आज का जो टॉपिक है वो है कास्ट सेंसस, जो कि एक बहुत ही सेंसेशनल एंड बर्निंग इशू है इंडिया में। तो हम देखेंगे आज कि कास्ट सेंसस जो है इंडिया में उसका क्या रेलेवेंस है, क्यों किया जा रहा है, उसके बैकग्राउंड्स देखेंगे कि हिस्टोरिकली कैसे ये इवॉल्व हुआ है और कितने स्टेट्स ने कास्ट सेंसस को किया है, और फ्यूचर इम्प्लीकेशंस देखेंगे, क्या चैलेंजेस हैं और क्या आउटकम्स होंगे इसके। So this is not only for the exam purpose. You can use this lecture, you can use this video for the general purpose as well, those who are not having a well knowledge about the caste census. तो जैसा कि जानते हैं कि अभी 2027 में 2026 में 1 अक्टूबर 2026 से जनरल सेंसस शुरू हो रहा है, जो कि पहले स्नो बाउंड्री रीजन में शुरू होगा और 1 मार्च 2027 ऑनवर्ड से जो अदर एरियाज़ में शुरू होंगे। तो उसके साथ जो कास्ट का जो डेटा है वो भी रिकॉर्ड किया जाएगा। आफ्टर अ लॉन्ग पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, आफ्टर 1931 सारे कास्ट का डेटा इसमें रिकॉर्ड किया जाएगा। तो लेट्स सी कि कास्ट सेंसस का क्यों न्यूज़ में है और इसका अर्लियर प्रेजेंस कैसे था। सो एज आई हैव ऑलरेडी डिस्कस, तो कास्ट सेंसस जो है उसको ऑलरेडी यूनियन कैबिनेट ने अप्रूव कर दिया है कि जो इंक्लूजन ऑफ कास्ट क्वेश्चन इन द अपकमिंग सेंसस, तो अपकमिंग सेंसस में जो भी कास्ट है उसको इंक्लूड किया जाएगा क्वेश्चनर में। और सिंस 1931 दिस विल बी द फर्स्ट एक्सरसाइज जिसमें कि फुल फ्लेज सारे कास्ट का डेटा कलेक्ट किया जाएगा। ओके, एंड इट इज़ बीन डन बाय द मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ होम अफेयर्स थ्रू द रजिस्ट्रार जनरल ऑफ इंडिया एंड द सेंसस कमिश्नर ऑफ इंडिया। सो विल सी द कास्ट एनुमरेशन अंडर द ब्रिटिश रूल। ब्रिटिश रूल में कास्ट एनुमरेशन कैसा था। सो द कास्ट एनुमरेशन बिगेन इन 1881 अंडर द ब्रिटिश रूल, बट 1931 census under the J.S. Hilton listed 4,147 castes and subcastes. That was the first exhaustive caste census that was done under the British rule. And the most important thing was that they did not focus on hierarchy, rather they focused on classification based on occupation. And in 1941, census data collected the caste data, but they have not released it. You can see the infographic also here. It has mentioned the same thing. So now we'll see the post-independence period. So India got independence in 1947, and since 1951 to 2011 SC/ST data are being collected, but there is no mention of other caste. So before that, every census until 1931 had the caste data. So 1931 before, all the caste data was there in the census. But 1931 onwards, only they were measuring the SC/ST's data, not the OBC's data. And even in 1941 they measured, but they have never disclosed it. So in SC/STs have been counted in 1951 and it is continued, but the OBC data were excluded. The first caste bounded commission was formed of Kaka Kalelkar Commission in 1953, and he said that there are 2,300 OBC caste, but in 1955 his data was discarded by stating the reason it is vague and lack of consensus, so it was discarded. Again after that, 1980s Mandal Commission was formed, and they have used the 1931 data and said that 52% of the population is OBC, and on that recommendation 27% reservation was given to the OBCs in education and jobs. So after that, in 2011 again a full-fledged census data was collected based on caste. So who did it? It was done by the Ministry of Rural Development, and it says that they have created 46 lakhs caste names, mostly surnames, because what they did, they collected the data of surnames. So how many types of surnames are there, what all surnames are there, based on that. But even a same caste people can have different surname. So they failed to get the actual idea of caste. So the data was released partially in 2016, but specific figures were not there, and this has failed majorly because of there were no legal backing under the Census Act 1948. And the second most important thing, it was that the poor trained enumerators, so those who were collecting, they were not that much trained. At the same time, ambiguous questions were there, like that they were asking the surnames. Is it important? Like surnames, even a general caste person can also use different caste surname. Like a Sharma is being used by Thakurs also there in Bihar, but it is used by the Bhumihar also, other caste also. So it cannot be a good way. So it was ambiguous questions, and the most important thing was that was the known expert ministry. How come a rural development ministry can do the caste census? It is not of their work. Even after that, so many states have come up with their caste census, and the most important was the Bihar, which is very significant, as in it was the first state in 2023 who released the data, and it shows that the 63% of the population is OBC. You can see there in the infographic also that backward classes are 27.13%, extremely backward classes are 36%. On a similar line, Telangana has conducted in 2024, and they said that the 56% of the population is backward class. Similarly, Karnataka also conducted the caste census in 2015, but they have not released it. They have released in 2024, and they said that 70% of the population is OBC. So we have seen how it has evolved through the period of time, and now we'll see what are the key objectives of caste count. Why we are doing the caste count? The first and foremost important thing is the policy making. A policy making and inclusive governance. Until unless you are knowing which caste, which people are staying where and what is their number, how can you be so sure of making a good policy? It will be a black box type of policy. So to have inclusive governance means including everyone there in the governance, making the part of governance, participative governance. For that, caste count is very much important. Even outdated, and the second important reason was that 1931 data we were using, that is very much outdated, and that same was used for the OBC reservations. So the outdated data were used for the OBC reservation. And the most important thing, the subcategorization of caste and criminal layer reaffirmed, and representation of marginal OBC. So it shows that only few have got benefit out of it, and the major population has not got benefit out of it. So to ensure the welfare scheme for the welfare state, as India is a welfare state, so a caste and so the accurate data of caste is very much important. Now we'll see where else the caste data is used. So the first thing where it is used is the political uses. So where it is, already we have discussed that it can be used in policy design, for the social welfare schemes, revising the reservation. So see, 1931 data Mandal Commission has used, and they said that 52% population is OBC, and on that basis they have given 27% of reservation. So if the new data is there, then the policy revision also is possible. Academic research, so once the data is there, so in-depth analysis of social inequality can be seen, that how much social inequality is there and where it is, so the targeted policy can be made. And the fourth is the electoral constituencies and the representative framework. So which constituencies having which population, based on that they can give the reservation. Like you can that, like we know that the SC/ST reservation is there in the Lok Sabha also and state assemblies also. Moving further, now we'll see the implication. What are the implications of the caste census? So we will segregate into two parts. First, it is the pre-independence impact, and second is the post-independence impact. So the pre-independence time, what they used, that they used caste data by the upper class to seek their representation. And the British government, they use to control education, revenue and services, like a divide and rule type of policy they have used earlier time, which led to the formation of caste-based association and literatures. It got eminence, and so many caste-based association came in picture. For instance, Bahitrit Sabha. And after post-Mandal Commission report, politics changed. Despite of giving the reservation, only the dominance of intermediary caste can be seen, and the marginalized OBC remains same, underrepresented. So the fresh data can redistribute the representation and empower the denotified and notified tribe. So if there is a fresh data, then the denotified and nomadic tribes can be empowered. So what are the denotified tribes? Majorly the denotified tribes were those tribes where to whom the British government, they have listed under the Criminal Tribals Act 1871. They said those tribes, ऐसे ट्राइबल पॉपुलेशन जो इस शेड्यूल में आते हैं, इस एक्ट के अंदर जो कवर है, वो सारे क्रिमिनल ट्राइब्स हैं, तो उसको उन्होंने डीनोटिफाइड कर दिया. बट जैसे ही इंडिया आज़ाद हुआ तो 1952 में इसको रिपील कर दिया गया. तो अब जो नया डेटा आएगा उसको यूज़ करके इसके वेलफेयर को प्रमोट किया जा सकता है. और जो स्टिल दे आर फेसिंग द सोशल स्टिग्मा एंड द मार्जिनलाइजेशन as it was there, because they have notified them as a criminal tribes. Nomadic tribes are those tribes majorly घुमंतु, जो कहीं एक जगह नहीं रुकते हैं, आज यहाँ है तो कल वहाँ है तो परसों वहाँ है. So approximately 313 recognized nomadic tribes are there in India, and they are facing several types of challenges as they are not having a fixed abode and there is no social integration for them. But at the same time, there are some administrative implications as well. Like it is crucial for the subcategorization of SC/STs and the criminal reform there in the OBCs also. So if there is an absence of data, caste-led data, then how can the benefit will be served? It will be just like a blind allocation of benefit. Another issue, another administrative imperatives are like SC/ST counts, but OBC are excluded. So there is a imbalance in the society, imbalance in the policy making, welfare measures. Most important thing is, as we have discussed, that it was done by the Rural Development Ministry, but it should be done by the Registrar General and Census Commissioner. So the proper authority allocation is also important. Most important thing is the consultation based list. So the list should be consulted with the sociologist, state government and other eminent person, those who are having well knowledge of the communities. At the same time, there is a need to give training to the person, those who are collecting the data, and you should use the technology to digitally collect the data so that it can be verified at any instant. At the same time, inclusive staffing, diverse team should be there at conflict zones, like in the conflict affected zones. Their own people can be used to collect the data, so to avoid bias and conflict. At the same time, constant monitoring is important at district committee for quality controls. So proper quality control is required so that there should not be any mismatch in the data collection, and accuracy and precision can be ensured. Pilot trials can be done in various states, like it has done by the Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, UP and Assam. And the most important, that is the Bihar caste census, caste survey, as a model, because they have listed 214 caste with as an option others. So every caste cannot be listed. So if you are giving an option of others, so they can mention their caste and they can get the details. So it shows a credible and an accurate count is feasible through the careful planning. So if you are doing careful planning, then definitely it can be done. So as the Bihar has done, so why not the central government can do the same thing? So even a state like Bihar, where so much of diversity is there, underdevelopment is there, still they were able to manage that. So same the same that can be done by the central government also. so that the list should be inclusive, exhaustive. It should not exclude anyone. Now we'll come to the conclusion. Like SC/ST has been counted for 70 years. But what is the problem with the OBC? Why the OBC are not counted? Although there are more than 4,000 groups. The delayed 2021 census provides a chance to bridge the gap between the caste data. And the last thing, that is a well-executed caste census is key to what? Social justice, representation, and inclusive development. So if there is a well-executed caste data, means there will be accuracy, precision in the data, and inclusivity in the data. So which will ensure that there is a social justice, representation, and inclusive development in the society. So by having accurate data only, you can ensure all these things. And the constitutional mandate of DPSP can be fulfilled, like India is a welfare state, and to ensure that there is a need to have caste census, and the caste census will reflect a huge lot of opportunity for the development of the marginalized. So this was all about the topic caste census. I hope it was clear to all, and the link of the PDF you can get it through our Telegram channel, that is Master Mains. So make use of this note. This is the exhaustive note on caste census. No need to dwell anywhere. You can use this note for your any exam, whether it is UPSC, BPSC, JPSC, or UPPSC. So this is a one short solution for caste census, and there is a surety that this question will be asked in BPSC 71st mains. So just be ready and take an extra edge by having this note and revise it multiple times so that no one can write better than you, and you will get a good marks in that. So thank you once again to all to being the part of this Master Mains family. Thank you all.